Hi, everybody. This is Jeffrey from Ripe Color, and this is Sonia Ray Lee from Sonia Ray Lee and Soul Sisters Tarot. And this is Tarot Tuesdays. And if you've been following, every Tuesday I upload a video talking about one card, and we're going in order because I like everything in order. And so this is week 6, but it's card 5. Very strange. And they like the magic. This is the magic. So the card this week is the Hierophant.
Yay.
5. So you're my guest, Sonia. And I also just wanted to give an incredible gratitude to Sonia, because when things happened earlier in the year for me, Sonia really showed up 1,000,000,000%. And we never even met. Today is the first day we actually met. And, for the telethon, that people really showed up and helped me out. And I'm so appreciative. Yeah. And my gut has been saying to me, she's the one for the Hierophant. And I knew it like 2 weeks ago. It's like, oh, she's the one for the Hierophant.
Well, thank you. I so appreciate being here. And of course, as we talked a little bit earlier before we started this, is that's what community is all about. It's about helping each other, whether we know each other or not. It's just coming together, especially when another person is in need. So yeah, it was totally my pleasure to be of assistance, and we're just so happy that you're still here with us.
Me too. Me too. Me too. I might have to get my hair all long and black so I fit into Mexico.
I think it'll look stunning on you. Absolutely.
Yeah, I have a hot glue gun. I have a staple gun. I'm ready.
Well, there's wigs. You might want to think of that option. Awesome. Love it.
I'll break my neck.
Yeah, please don't do that.
Okay, so we're going to talk about the Hierophant. So begin.
Yes. Well, one of the things that I love about the Hierophant card, I mean, there's a lot of different meanings, but for me, I think one of the biggest one is that it's a card of being a teacher. It's a card of spirituality, of higher learnings, and there's just so much that you can gain from that card depending on what the reading, what your other cards are telling you. And I did bring a few of my different cards because they each have something different in it, and I think it's just so cool of the pictures and all the different meanings that these cards can have. So one of my first ones, because we were discussing that the Hierophant too, it can be either male or female.
Yeah. And
we're not really sure. So this one card that I have, which is from my Beauty Tarot deck, which this whole deck is all women. But this one here, and you can see it's a nun. So it's a card of spirituality, also a teacher. And it says here, higher teachings, values, beliefs, inner truth, spirituality, order, teacher, tradition, and structure. So I just love that. And you notice she's holding a key there as well. So for that key, for me, that represents, this is the key of your teachings or your life, of what it is that you're trying to bring into your life. This is the key to bring in those higher teachings for your life.
Yeah.
So I really love this card here. And then the other one that I have that represents with a woman on it, this is from the Muse deck. And if you notice, there's a woman there, or a traveler, as the book says right here. And then there's a woman on the top. Yeah, I know. I need mine when I'm trying to read things. And then there's a woman at the top here. So the book illustrates that this is a guru here, and she's on her way to see the guru.
Right.
But the guru mentions something of like, I am you, you are me.
Right.
Because when I look at this card, I look at it as the higher self.
Right.
The teachings of the higher self, and that you see that the light all around this
It's
individual.
like gears of a clock fitting together. It's interesting.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So it's really a beautiful, beautiful card. And there's just so many different ways you can interpret this. Those are little fires there because she went and she camped out and she's waiting to see if she can go and talk to this guru. So
Now I
she's
want
just
a
waiting.
marshmallow.
Oh, I haven't had a s'more in such a long time. So good.
They're only good like that, though.
Yeah. Well, then it has to be burnt and crisp. I like mine
Yeah,
burnt.
it has to be
Yeah.
burnt. Yeah.
Yeah. So so you can see like the difference in this card, the meaning. And then of course, a lot of people are familiar with this one. This is the light seers, the Hierophant.
Beautiful.
And it's up for discussion whether that's male or female. I always saw it as a male, but I've heard some people refer to it as female.
Yeah. Yeah.
So very androgynous there.
Yeah.
But you see the stairs that's going up to
the stairway to
the
heaven.
light there. Yeah, like
Jacob's
stairway to
ladder.
heaven is what makes me think of that.
Yeah.
But
Jacob's
again,
ladder.
yeah, it's a very spiritual card.
Yeah.
About connecting to your spiritual your spirituality, your spiritual team, or it can also be you reaching new levels and heights of your spirituality.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of ways that you can look at this one as well. So that's what I love about that. And then the last one that I have, this one's male. This is from the Everyday Enchantment Tarot.
Everyday enchantment.
Yeah, this one is actually of a male. And as you can see, he's teaching a classroom. So he's being the teacher. And look at all those symbols.
I like him.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, the pentagram and the Om and the Magen David, which is like the Jewish star.
Yes.
Cross, the Buddhist wheel. Beautiful.
So there's so many different ways of spirituality. You know, it's just not one in particular. It's just kind of being open to all different aspects of spirituality, of religion, and the teachings, the higher teachings that he's sharing with his students there. Wow. So I really love this card that, you know, for me, when I pull this in a reading for someone, it's kind of indicating that this is something that you may need to pay more attention to. You know, whether you have a teacher, or maybe you might need a teacher or should look into a teacher, or maybe you're the teacher and it's something that that needs to be said for you when looking at this card. Yeah, well, when you were showing the one with the gears, you were talking about that, and it's a little bit, that's how I always see the 8 of Pentacles. So it's like the student is a teacher, the teacher is a student. You know, it's really, it's both. It's always both. Yeah. Yes, for sure. Fascinating. Yes. So, and I love that the fact that it can be male or female. Yeah, it's very, very male or female, because I always see it as the female Pope. You know what it feels like? So I've been thinking about it a lot today. It's almost like it's the high priestess in disguise. That's how it feels like. There's this, and when you pulled the first card, it was like, I felt like the one that the nun, yes, she looked very Persian to me, right? And it's like, but there she is with this Catholic thing. It's like, oh no, she's in disguise. She could be. She could be. Now you have me interested. I'm trying to remember what the high priestess looks like in this deck here. Well, it's very similar, because it's the second card that comes up with the pillars. Yes. Right. And so the pillars and the high priestess, one is dark and one is light. So she has the understanding of both the chaos and the creation. But then as it evolves, it all turns light. It all turns, because it's almost like it has to be, I don't know, configured on another realm in order for it to come down here. That's how I feel about it. Well, look at the high priestess here. She's definitely a woman of mystery, a woman in disguise. Yeah. So I really love how she just, you know, the card says intuition, sensuality, secret wisdom, secrets hidden, dreams, and the unknown. Yeah. So I love how that she's kind of in that disguised look. Yeah. So for me, my basic reading, see, look how similar they are. Yeah.
right? The next time the
Mhm.
pillars show up really, really prominently and really easy to see is justice.
Mhm.
That's the next. But so for me, well, first of all, it's a 5. So it's about change. It's about
Yes.
change. It's about change. It's about change. And, sometimes in the past videos, I talked about some cards being yes, some cards being no. This is a maybe. This one's maybe yes, maybe no. This is kind of a maybe. I
Mhm.
always feel with this one, like, because she is wearing this crown, and it's a triple crown. So the triple crown, it's not a horse race. The triple crown really goes back to like ancient Egypt and this deep occult knowledge of hierarchy, this knowledge of tradition. And so to me, this card is as above, so below. So my understanding of the card is that because this person is the Pope, right? This
Mhm.
this person has the, like, ideally has that direct connection to the higher realms. They get the
Mm.
information. It's almost like the way I always describe it. Where's my, oh, good. Sometimes it's like I want to draw something and I don't have any paper. Okay. It's almost like, it's kind of like the pyramids in Mexico. Okay.
Okay.
It's like a mirror image. So I feel like the information comes from heaven through the head of the Pope, of the Hierophant, to like establish the spirituality and the tradition here. That's how it feels.
Wow.
It's almost like this, you see?
Oh yeah, look at that.
That's how it feels to
Mhm.
me, right? And that's what it's like. Oh, the third eye is ignited.
Mhm.
The third eye. So there's a sense of ethics. There's a sense of right and wrong. There's a sense of the way to do things. There's a sense of knowledge. There's a sense of balance.
Mhm.
I mean, there's a lot going on with this card. There's a
Yeah,
lot going
there's a
on.
lot going on.
But I
Yes.
think it's also, there's this also for me, it's not so much about movement. It's really more, it really doesn't move, because
No, I don't
I
sense
always,
movement either.
right?
Yeah.
Because I always, like, another way I describe this is like anything with pillars. So it's government, it's law, it's
Mhm.
medicine, it's religion, it's marriage. It's all those things that are
Mhm.
established on the earth. Because like the first one that we get for the earth plane is the emperor, right? He's the real first earth plane one. And then
Yes.
this one, it's like, okay, now that I'm here, I'm going to build something. So like if you're stuck on a deserted island, the first thing you got to do is build shelter.
Mhm.
That's the
Well,
first
that's
thing
the
you got to do.
structure that's put
Right,
in place.
right.
It's the
It's
structure.
about structure. It's about tradition. It's about getting information from above and then making
Yes.
it manifest. So sometimes this is really about like, okay, you have the idea, and it's like, okay, well, make it manifest here, or go to a place that's already manifest and, put your, uh, put your request in. Right?
Yes. Well, that's the thing that, it's interesting that you said that in putting your request in, because I feel like with these cards, you have to be open to receive.
Right.
You have to be open to receive. And that's, one of the reasons why she's holding that key. So you need the key to unlock so that you can make that connection with your higher self or spirit, God, whoever you want to say, but
Right.
it's being open to that, right? So it's like here with the stairwell, like he has to be open to be willing to make that connection
Right.
with that. These
Right.
kids, the students, they have to be open and willing to receive the information that the teacher is given to them, as well as this person here trying to make that connection. So it's allowing yourself to be in that space to make that connection.
Right. Right. Because that's what the 5 is about. The 5 is about
Yes.
change. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes our perception, like a miracle is a shift in perception. It's as simple as that. Right.
Yes.
It's just like, oh, I never thought of it like that. Oh,
Right.
I think I'll add onion.
Well, that's a lot of because I'm a mindset coach too. So that's one of my biggest things that I teach people about mindset is that there's two ways to look at that glass, right? We know that it can be half empty or half full. Which way are you choosing to look at that?
Right.
So we want to be in a place of where we're looking at things from a perception that we're raising our vibration versus looking at it from a place of where we're lowering it. Because when you are in that lower energy, you can't manifest anything from that. All these people, you can see they look, well, I don't know. He doesn't look that happy. He looks very serious. Well, he's got a little smile there, but
he's like, I can give you an A or I can give you an F.
Right. But it's allowing yourself to be in that place of feeling good, at looking things from a perspective that's going to raise your vibration, so you can be in that spiritual place of where you want to grow and to connect and to learn. There's so much learning here in these cards, so much to receive, but you have to be willing and open to it.
Yeah, and it's so interesting that you should say that, because all the fives, I just pulled all the fives. For me, every single five, and this is the five. So first of all, the 1 through 10 is like the lower, go with 1 through 10. The five is the one, the five is the one is like walking on a fence. And it's like, I'm walking on this fence and it's like, am I gonna go back or am I gonna move forward? Because I'm, either way, I'm gonna fall into one garden or another. Either way, because it's like, that's just the way thing, you can't keep your balance forever, right? You can't just stay in one place forever. So like this one, it's like, well, what are you paying attention to? You're paying attention to that you don't have enough to wear, or are you just, if you change your perspective and say, oh, there's hope here, right? What are you paying attention to? You're paying attention to the loss, or can you turn around and say, oh, there's still something salvageable? They're all like that. All the fives are like that. So that's the thing about it, is, am I open to learning something? Am I open to looking at things in a different way? Am I right?
Yes.
And if I open my third eye, like wherever the Hierophant is, because this is like the Triple Crown. If I open that up, maybe I can see things from a different perspective, right?
Absolutely.
And for me, I always get, people like, oh, well, the messages are only in the car. It's like birds talk to me, signs on the street talk to me. If I see 10 red cars, that's saying something. If, I hear 3 people mention one place, I'm like, what is it about that place?
Yes. And it's so funny that we're talking about this, because all week long last week, 555. Everywhere I went. I think it was preparing me for today, but it's just so cool that was my number. All the numbers take their turns, but this past week happened to be 555. So I thought that was like super cool. And we had to stop for gas yesterday. And I was trying to find a gas station. I have this little gas app, and I was looking for a gas station.
It tells you where the stations are?
Yes, it tells you where the stations are and tells you the prices, so you can find a good price.
Oh, cool.
And sure enough, the gas station, it said 555. So I said, well, that's gonna go gas.
That's how much it is a gallon now? 555?
Oh, that's cheap. We were outside because we were driving back to Los Angeles. And
so you drove to Mexico?
No, we drove to Tijuana. I flew out of the Tijuana airport.
Ah, okay.
And so we were driving back to LA. And I said, let's get our gas right before we get back into the city, because I knew it was going to be higher. And sure enough, by where I live, it's over $6 a gallon.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's as expensive in Mexico. And in Mexico, it's really difficult for them, because that's how much it is. It's about, it's like 2.6, and I don't even drive, but it's like 2.6 for a liter. And a liter is basically 4 liters is a gallon. So that it's really about the same. Yeah. It's
crazy. So yeah, when we saw the 555, I was like, this is where we're going to go get our gas from. Yeah. There was one thing I wanted to read, which I thought was interesting. Let me see if it's in this one. No, it wasn't this one. Which book did I see? Oh, I think it was in this one here. And I'm going to have to put my glasses on for this, because.
How about if I put on my glasses? Would that help?
Yeah, you might help.
There you go.
Double vision. Okay. So the key words, this is from the Muse.
Mhm,
And as I mentioned, the teacher, this says a spiritual teacher finding the guru within,
mhm,
failing or outdated systems,
mhm.
crumbling institutions or beliefs, new founded faith, shiny and hollow things, a spiritual journey.
Right.
But the one thing that I loved about this, I already explained the story of the card, but it says, Dear teacher, sacred mentor, dear loving leader, guide, I am deeply grateful for your heart, untethered net cast wide.
Mm,
So I just found that really beautiful.
yeah.
And then the other thing, this is what she says. So this individual here, this person here,
Mhm,
um, as she works, she's working here, a voice floods her awareness. Sweet soul, thank you for visiting me. I ask you to look at the form in front of you. Are you worshiping me for the way I look? Or are you worshiping me for the way I act?
mm,
Or do we worship the same? Aren't we the same, you and I? The muse winks and continues. And therein lies the secret, beautiful heart. I see you. I see your profound inner wisdom. And I see that now is the time to lead yourself in service.
mm. Beautiful.
Yeah. So I just love that.
Yeah, no, it's funny you should say that because I'm going to bring up Guadalupe because I always do. So the first time I was telling you earlier, the first time I came to Mexico City, I went to the Basilica of Guadalupe and it was a long walk. I don't know where I was going. It took me 3 hours, la, la, la. And I get there and I don't know what I thought was going to happen, but nothing happened. And what came to me was, it's not about worshiping Guadalupe. It's about being her.
Mhm.
It's about being her. And, my understanding of the energy of Guadalupe is the child that is loved can do anything.
Mm.
That's and it's like, I love you no matter what. I love you if you didn't do your homework. I love you if you stuck your tongue out at me. I love you if you're late. I love you if you sleep late. I love you come into the house with dirty feet. I love you if you broke the next door neighbor's window. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you.
Wow.
And I accept you completely. And I think, you know, that's that. So for me also, the Hierophant is really about, whenever I pull it, it's like, oh, time to build something new. Time to
Mm.
build something new. But see, in the High Priestess, it's a little hidden because it's still working or something. But like
Yes.
all of a sudden, when the Hierophant comes through, it's like, oh no, we're going to make this on Earth now, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
So because I like everything with pillars. I'm telling you, it's all about pillars. Like when you go by it, like any government, like Washington D.C. is like the perfect example. If you ever
Oh
been to
God, there's
Washington
pillars
D.C.,
everywhere.
there's pillars everywhere. Or there's also when I went to what's the name of that building? Uh, the Pantheon. I went to the Pantheon in Rome. So the
Mhm.
Pantheon in Rome is the one where all the gods were,
Yep.
and
I've
it's
been
still
there before.
standing, and it's like,
Yep.
I don't know, 2,500 years old. It's the most solid building I've ever been in my life.
Mhm.
Like there's an energy to that building. It has that dome. Should look it up. It's amazing.
Yeah, no, I've been there before.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
it's like, to be
beautiful.
there, you could really, really, really feel it. I
Mhm.
felt I felt that building more than I did the Colosseum. That it had this solidity to it. It felt like it was coming up from the earth as opposed to was put into the earth. It felt like it was
Wow.
coming up
Yeah.
from the earth. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes.
It was like, ooh, and then it grows up around you. It was almost like some weird sci-fi movie. Or
And it's like,
like,
I am here. Hear me
not
roar.
not like how like they can do all that stuff on video now, like they can create a whole world. It was like a little bit like that. It was like, as you step in, it just something is built.
Yes.
There's not
Yes.
there's a real like build energy to this.
Mm.
And it's also the card of Taurus. And Taurus has that energy, and it's ruled by Venus. So Taurus has this energy of really being the most solid of the earth signs. It's fixed earth. It's like, I'm going to put this down and it's going to stay forever and ever and ever.
Yes.
You know, it has that energy.
Mhm.
So, it's
like a real solid energy.
Yeah, and it makes this decision to be fixed. It's not like I'm going to build something, a reed hut. I'm not. It's you know, oh, I'm going to build it out of cardboard. You know, it's like, no, we're going to build it out of stone. We're going to build. You know, it's like that. That's what I always get from it. And even columns, when you think about it, is so vertical. It really attaches heaven and earth. You know, and then you know, the columns. This all and also goes back to ancient Egypt, because you know that's what the Egyptians
Yeah,
were
the
the original
pyramids.
column.
Yes.
But they were the original column builders too. You know, they say that's where the Greeks got it from. So there's a really profound energy of heaven on earth, of as above, so below.
Yeah.
As above, so below, you know, and understanding that you are the teacher and the teacher is you. And, you know, I always feel like also we all end up in the right classes, right? Right. You always end up in the right class. You might not know that somebody's a teacher right away, but then in fact they are. Or,
Right.
you know, you might not realize you're a student, but in fact you are.
Yes. Yes.
You know,
Well, I always feel like we are always a student, right? We're
well, I
always
hope
learning,
so.
we're always growing, hopefully.
Yeah, I hope so.
But you know, we can be teachers as well. But yeah, I mean, that is the hope, right? That people would want to learn and be open to learning and growing,
Yeah.
which is really important, I feel, especially on your spiritual journey, your spiritual path.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a fascinating it's really, it's a much more profound card than we you know, when you first look at it, it's like, oh, this is about tradition. This is about a contract. It could be about a contract. You know, it could be about law, it could be about marriage, could be
Yeah.
about any of those things. And I finally also, this is where the crosses, the first time the crosses show up. Okay, away we go, back with the glasses.
Nice glasses, by the way. I love that
Thank
color.
you. Thank you. I get like 5 for a certain price. I got green, I got red, I got blue, I got blah, 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 blah.
Oh, that's awesome.
So the crosses show up right here, and here's a triple cross, right? But the cross is really, it's not only a symbol of Christianity, it's much older than that. Actually, the cross is one of the symbols of earth. And it's really about the configuration of, I'll do 2 pens. So this is, you know, spirit, and this is the material world. Right. And this is the material. And think about building. It's always, you know, the 90 degree, it's all about the degrees, and you know, what's this and how does this relate to that? Because you know, you build a building like that, it's probably not going to stand.
Right.
You build a building like that, that's a raft.
Right. A raft.
If we put up 2 columns like this and don't, you know, like they don't have a relation to another, it's just a pole.
Right.
So it's a really, really fascinating card. So it's about building, it's about making something solid. It's about Taurus. It's about, you know, and also because it's Taurus and related to Venus, it's really about, I think, understanding and utilizing the love, because it's Venus, the love. It's almost like building something out of love, building something in love, or of love. I never thought of it like that.
No, I like that. And that makes a lot of sense as well, of because you're making that, you know, that connection, but it's also that connection, that love of making that connection, but also to self.
Yes.
The love for self as well, bringing in that love aspect. So I like that.
Yeah. And I think that's also the energy of like the higher realms coming down in that weird little configuration I made, coming through like the third eye and going, I'm going to build it here too.
Yes, yes. And you know, it's interesting. Look at his shirt here. I mean, you got more of a crosses going on here, but you have the perpendicular that's going
Yeah.
on there.
Yeah.
And then, the pink as well can signify that
Right.
love energy,
Right.
where we have it in this card as well.
Yep. Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. Right.
And
And
then
that,
this one
that
just has all
stairway
the,
also, that stairway reminds me of Jacob's ladder, where the angels are going up and
yes,
down and up and
yes,
down and up and down. And it's like,
yes,
I'm receiving information, right? Like the angels are coming down and say, build this, build this. And then, my heart and my mind are saying, are sending, my angel love energy up to the, thanks for the information. Thanks for the idea. Thanks, 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 thanks. It's a little bit of that, right? It's almost like like escalators. One's going up
yes,
like that, right?
yes. Exchange, an
Yeah.
exchange.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because before that, because with the high priestess, it's like she's not quite ready. She's, it's like it's working,
Mhm.
it's like the soup is cooking. And
Yeah.
it's like now it's time to serve the soup.
Yeah.
Or maybe something more solid than soup, like stew.
Oh, I love that. That's a good analogy.
Yeah, it's almost,
Oh.
yeah. So like, like the Hierophant adds like the meat and the carrots and the potatoes to the soup to make it a stew, I think. Now I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Now I'm hungry.
What's interesting is I'm looking at this card. Look at the glow around him. Look, I'm going to make you put your glasses back on.
No, it's like a
Unless you
it's
can see
like a
it.
halo.
Yeah. And then he
Yeah.
has it coming out of his finger. It almost
Right.
looks like this
Wow.
energy that's vibrating off of
Right.
him.
It's almost like it comes through, and then it's like he's illuminated.
Yes.
It's like he's illuminated. Right.
And there's a mouse in here too.
So what are mice? I think I know mice symbolize being very alert, right? Being very alert. Maybe being hidden.
I'm curious. I just want to quickly look and see if it says anything about this mouse, because obviously there's a reason why they put it there.
I'm going to see, I'm going to look if there's any cheese on the floor in this one. Doesn't seem like it.
So it's interesting. It says the Hierophant also focuses on the group and advocates pulling our weight while moving towards a shared goal. Teaching is a communal activity, and the Hierophant thrives on imparting wisdom to an audience, be they students, accounts, or congregation. Whereas the High Priestess is an unconventional figure reliant on intuition. The Hierophant keeps to the program, doing things the way they've always been done because it's right and proper.
Right.
They refer to him, his desire for learning means he's not jaded or formulaic, and he remains a credible expert whilst suggesting we study using prescribed rather than unorthodox material.
Right.
To him, it's fine to explore tried and tested beliefs, but not develop heretical personal philosophies.
Yeah.
But it's interesting, no mention of the mouse. I thought they would.
Yeah, that is odd. And the other thing I've been looking at in like the traditional deck, I mean, I don't even know what deck I have to tell you the truth, but it's fairly traditional. So here are roses, right? So roses symbolize Venus because a rose is a 5-petaled flower. Interesting. So that's why the apple and the rose, because when you cut an apple open, you could sort of see a pentagram in it. And that is always a symbol of Venus because that's Venus's, I know a lot of weird stuff.
No, that's awesome. I'm like learning here. Like I'm being a student right now.
If,
Thank you.
I'm trying to make, okay. So if this is the earth, right? This is this is why Venus is the morning star and the evening star, because sometimes she appears here, sometimes she appears here, sometimes she appears here, sometimes she appears here, and sometimes she appears here. That is the way we see Venus on earth.
Okay.
So the pentagram is always a symbol, and the 5 is always a symbol of Venus. Roses were a symbol of Venus because originally roses were a 5-petaled flower. So there's a lot of stuff beyond that. And then we also get the lilies. So the lilies are really the symbol of Gabriel, the messenger, like the trumpet,
Yes.
right? Getting information, receiving information, listening. So
Yeah.
take that, put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Yeah. Thank
There's
you.
there's a lot going on here. There's a lot going on here.
It's a powerful card.
Very powerful.
Mhm.
Very, very, very powerful. And I also, the crossed keys is always a symbol of the Pope, but I think the crossed keys is almost like it's kind of X marks the spot.
Mhm.
Kind of like, it comes in through here. It's almost like this is the spot where heaven and earth meet.
Me, yeah.
Yeah,
Now, what's interesting in your card, it's a Pope,
right,
and he has the 2 keys. Here
right.
we have a nun, and she just has 1 key.
Well, maybe she's got it behind her head. Maybe she's got it inside her. Maybe she has like this fantastic hairdo underneath, and she's like
Yeah, she's
hiding her.
hiding.
Yeah. I do that all the time.
I love it.
Yeah, fascinating. Even this, I mean, this is this. I don't know what deck this is, but it's almost like part of the picture was cut down because I think it used to be fuller.
Mm-hmm.
But even this is like this Y shape, right? It's almost like these two coming together as one and then coming down, right? So it's like this dual male female information coming down and forming, because we live in a dual world.
Yes.
So it's almost that, but it's like the high priestess is she's floating around, she's dreamy, and she's like, sometimes she reveals it, sometimes she doesn't. Will she?
Yeah,
Won't she?
that mystery.
Yeah, this one is like, okay, here's the answer. And this is what you do, and this is how you do it, and this is how you build something, and this is how it's going to last. And yeah, it's really because now we're into the realm of Taurus, right?
Mhm.
Because she's pre-astrology, right? It's pre that whole setup. And then, first we have Aries coming down as an explosion, and now we have Taurus.
Taurus, yeah.
Really fascinating.
Wow. Super cool.
Mm-hmm. So is there anything else that you'd like to add to the Hierophant? Of course, like tonight, we're both going to think about like,
I know we're going to come up with all these other things like, oh, wow, yeah. No, I think it's just important for all of us to explore your own self. Are you a student? Are you a teacher? Are you neither? And I think it's important for us to take a closer look at that, to examine that a little bit more for our own selves of where we stand with this, because it's important as individuals to consistently to grow and to learn. And this is how we're going to help this world, help make it a better place. And but we have to take the time, we have to be open to receive that. And so because we're having this discussion, I think it is important for everyone to really take a closer look at themselves and where they are right now in their life.
And allow change.
Allow for that change. It can be beautiful. It can get messy. It can be sometimes not fun, but for the most part, it's for our highest good, our highest purpose, and just allowing yourself to be open to what's on the other side. And I remember this conversation I had with my daughter a long time ago, and I was trying to get her to look at things from a different perspective and to, I said, if you start making that change and wanting to grow, there's so much beauty over here. And she said she didn't want to do that. And I said, why wouldn't you want to do that? And she said, because I don't know what that feels like over there. I know what this feels like, and I know what to expect.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, that's really interesting. And I'm sure she's not alone, in that.
Yeah.
And so I told her, I said, well, I can understand that. So just take baby steps, one step at a time, until you get to the other side, and you'll see that it's not so bad. And what I always tell people, we have to learn how to get uncomfortable to get comfortable again.
Yeah.
And then once you get comfortable in this new space, then you take another step and you get uncomfortable again until you get comfortable. So this is how we grow. This is how we change. And that's important.
Right.
So,
And growth and change is really what that whole card is about.
Absolutely.
Change is the only thing that we can rely on,
Yes.
One day it's raining and one day it's sunny and one day at this and,
Yep, for sure.
Yeah. And some days are, it's more pleasant than others. And so, okay.
Yeah, this is life.
Okay. Okay. So now tell us about your station and about, what you offer and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So my channel, Sonia Rain Lee, I have a Wellness Wednesday where
I do Tarot Tuesdays because it's TT and you have a WW.
I have a WW. I have generally, I like to have guests on, people, anyone that has information that pertains to mind, body, and spirit. So I don't have anything coming up soon, but I will be looking at for June, having an active schedule of having different guests on. And then on Friday mornings at 8:30 a.m. Pacific time, I have my coffee chat, which is Oracle. I know it's coffee chat, right? It's coffee time. Those are my Oracle readings for the collective, channeled messages from spirit that I share. And then on Monday nights on the Soul Sisters Tarot, my lovely friend EQ, we do live readings for people that are interested in getting a free reading. So make sure you check that out. That's at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. And then my website, which is soniarainlee.com. I am a energy worker. I do Reiki. I'm a Reiki practitioner, and I also work with crystals. And like I mentioned earlier, I'm a mindset coach. So I work with individuals that are looking to make changes in their life so that they can grow and get out of their own way for the most part. So I do individual coaching, but I'm looking at starting up a program and doing group coaching. So that's what I'm looking at doing with that right then. And then I do personal readings as well.
Busy.
Busy.
Just
Yes.
like all of us. I know.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
All right. That's fabulous. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. This has been so much fun.
Yes, thank you. I knew you were the right one for this one.
Oh,
I just knew it. So we're both going to build something new out of this.
Yes.
With columns.
Absolutely.
Marble columns.
Ooh, Italian marble.
Naturally.
Like yes.
Naturally. When I went to Rome, I had this incredible guide, right? And she took us to the thing with the Capuchin monks where they made it was so weird. But anyway, she was so fantastic. I was like, I want to hire you, like just for me. Like I was feeling very grand. And part of what she was all about was the stone that they used. And the thing is that Rome had such a big empire. So their whole way of saying it without saying it was they got marble from everywhere. Wow. And so basically they had put together these temples and basically said, this is from Libya, this is from Egypt, this is from Greece, this is from Italy, this is from Spain. Like you didn't even have to know, but you could tell by the color of the marble. And she was so excited. We'd go around to all these places and she'd throw water on it so you could see the real color of it.
Wow.
She'd be throwing water all over everything. She goes, look at that color. Look at that color. That's from Egypt. You know how expensive that is? It's like, wow. Because it was this granite and that marble. So maybe that's part of the message. It's like, don't be afraid to like take things from all different cultures to build your own temple.
Mhm. I love that. And you don't know if you get until you get out there and try. So go get out there and start throwing water on stuff, people.
Exactly. And then you'll know if your friend is actually a witch or not.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
I knew it.
Perfect.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me. And
Yes, thank you. This has been such a pleasure.
oh, and
Appreciate
I
you.
forgot to say all that. Wait. Please like, subscribe, share, comment, press the bell for notifications. Please become a member. I also offer private readings. I also do energy work. I do IET, which is integrated energy therapy,
Yeah.
which basically is working with the angels. You tell the angels what you want,
Hmm.
and then you tell them what you don't want. And I sort of do a thing, and then I administer it, and I do it remotely.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
happen to be in
Remote. I
Mexico
mean, we've all
City.
been doing remotely recently.
Well, I've always done it remotely anyway.
Okay.
You know,
Beautiful. Yeah.
Well, 80%, 90%.
Yeah. COVID made me really get into the doing things remotely, but yeah, I do in person as well, but mostly remotely.
Okay, well, thank you. And I'll have all the information about your channel below, and I guess about my channel below also. So thanks again for
Okay.
joining us for Tarot Tuesdays. And next
Yes.
week will be the lovers. And I don't know who the lover, I don't know yet. So yeah, you have
Ooh,
to tune in every
juicy.
week. You have to tune in every week.
Yes.
Okay, now I have to put my glasses on so I could stop recording properly instead of just keep on. Okay. Stop recording.